Welcome to another episode of Van Build Tech Talks with Curt. I'm Curt, and today we have a classic competition, propane versus an induction cooktop. And guys, I gotta tell you, there's a lot of people when we didn't put propane in the van who said we were gonna regret it. We've been in the van for a year, and we are super excited about this induction cooktop. But today, we're gonna look at one versus the other. So to start off, we're gonna do the classic boil test. And so what I have here is 2 glasses of water. And as you can see, they're same full. So I'm gonna pour the water in this one and in this one. And then we're gonna turn the oven on. Now I'm gonna start with the propane first. Now I should say this is not propane, this is natural gas. And so your cooktop may be a bit different. We're going to turn that all the way up. So I've got some water in each pan. So you might not have natural gas. This is natural gas. You might have propane, butane, or some other fuel source. But it's comparing an open flame cooktop to the induction cooktop. And so I've got this burner on high. We should have set the timer. But so far, nothing's going on over here. Now, one thing about propane while this is heating up that I want to tell you guys about is I can just feel the heat coming out of the flame. I mean, I can feel heat from this burner, like out to here. I can feel it. Now here, if you come over here, I can touch it. Now, if you look at this pan right here, you can see there's already bubbles starting to come around the pan. This is already almost boiling. I can put my hand right here. I can't feel any heat around here. I can feel some steam heat here, but here I can feel heat all around this thing just coming out. So this is boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead. This is boiling, you can see. Now we're starting to get some little bubbles in the gas burner, but still not boiling. This is boiling here. Now I can feel the heat from the steam coming up, but I can touch, look at this, I can touch right here and it's not even hot. I can't even feel any heat at all. Now I'm gonna leave that right here because I can't get my hand any closer to the flame than that. So the big difference between these two, one big difference, I'm gonna turn this off, but the big difference between these two in terms of heat, first of all, the induction cooker only heats the pan so it boils a lot faster, but then the external heat is a lot more when it comes to this pan. Now this is still not boiling, but I want to talk to you while we're waiting for this to boil. I want to talk to you about some of the functions of the induction oven. Now with the gas burner, I can basically turn the heat up or turn it down. I don't know what temperature it's cooking at. Just high, medium, or low, or whatever based on the side of the flame. But if we come over here and we look at the induction cooktop, I have multiple functions. And so I can use the temperature. So I can actually set my temperature to whatever temperature I want to set at. So if I want to deep fry something, I can just set it at 390 and that'll automatically regulate the temperature. And so that's awesome. Now I can also just go to easy settings like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on up to 10 for the maximum heat. And that's how I can do that. But now what's really cool is once I get the water to a boil, let's say I'm cooking rice. Now we finally got this pan over here to the boil. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. Now, if I want to cook something like rice or something like that, I can simply bring my water to boil, dump my rice in, rice cooks for 20 minutes, I can put the lid on my pot, set the timer. If you look right here, there's a timer function, so I can set that for 20 minutes and let it go. So now I have temperature control and I have timer control, and so that'll automatically turn off and it'll be perfectly cooked rice every time. Over here, I just don't have the functionality. I don't have a timer, I can't control the temperature, and so this is a much better mechanism. Now, what we use for cooking rice is we use this pot right here. And so this pot right here has a lid that we can put on it, And so, works real easy. And that actually makes this induction cooktop almost into an Instapot. So for any of those who you guys have used an Instapot, they're awesome. We had one in our previous life, but we just didn't have room for that big bulky Instapot. And so now this pan gives me sort of like the same aspect of an Instapot, because I have the time and temperature controls down here, and I also have the lid. So this can be a pressure cooker, or it can also be my saucepan. I can use it for cooking noodles or whatever I want. Now, another cool thing about the induction oven is it also works with stainless steel. Now, you do need special pans with these, but if you put stainless steel, you can see it still comes on. So, it still comes on, it works with stainless steel. However, it needs to be a metal pan. And so if you look at this pan right here, and I set this on here, this is aluminum or another material, and turn it on, it's just not going to work. And so if it's not a metal pan, it's not going to work. There's a sensor in there and lets it know. And lets it know, so it won't work, and that's fine. There's a couple other things to consider with the cooktop versus cooking with something like propane. And the first thing is the energy source. And so it's going to take a little bit more electrics cooking with this. And so you're going to need an inverter. And so I have a 3,000 watt Ames inverter. I'll link that in the description. But with propane, obviously you don't need an inverter. You're probably going to need a little bit bigger battery bank than you're currently using. And which also means you're probably going to need a little bit bigger charge source. And so in our case, we have a huge battery bank, 800 amp hour battery bank. We have a big solar array, and we also have a second alternator and the ability to charge with shore power. And so for us, the little bit of extra electricity that it takes for the induction burner is not a big deal. Now with propane, obviously you'd have the tank, you'd have the security, you'd have to do the propane plumbing, and then you also have the risk of a leak or something like that, which was a concern for us. But even a bigger concern for us is having an open flame in the van. We have two kitties, and sometimes they like to jump up on the counter and see what we're doing, we're cooking and stuff like that. You know, they say a cat doesn't touch a hot burner twice, but we don't want to find out. With open flame in a closed space, not only does it generate a huge amount of heat, but we feel like it's a bit of a safety concern. And I'll also tell you, and Snow, if you can come in right here, you see how you get all this little stuff down here in your gas cooktop? It's really tough to clean. You got to take this out, and you got to wipe all around that. And so cleaning can be kind of a pain with these types of gas ovens. But if you look over at the induction top, it's got a smooth surface. A couple sprays of a cleaner and a wipe down, easy peasy cleanup. And oh, by the way, this also makes a much better work surface than this. Now, I've seen the stoves tops that have the lids that fold down and stuff and give you a little extra work area. This is already that way. We have a nice dish dryer, and it's a cover that we put over top of it, and it covers it nicely, gives us an additional workspace. The kitties can actually jump up here and sit and look out our screen door window, and so that works out really well. So, in conclusion, we're so glad that we didn't put propane in the van or any other type of gas source. We love our induction cooktop, and for all the reasons I mentioned, and I would encourage you to, especially if you're in a van building, guys, we're talking to a lot of you, and we appreciate all your comments, and we appreciate the communication that we're having with this community, but it's apparent to me that a lot of you guys are in van build right now. And so I would encourage you to take a look at going with an induction type cooktop. Now we'll link some of the stuff in the description that we have, the cooktop that we use, and we'll link some pans and other things like that. And so anyway, thanks guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you. We look forward to seeing you on the next one. Hit the like and subscribe. Cheers.
If you liked this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when we put out new videos. To see behind the scenes action and help support our journey, head over to our YouTube membership page. You can find the link in the video description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in a few days.
Even if the sky is falling down,